Hello, I'm Scott Bogie here with the one and only Nico Echeverry ahead of his upcoming fight against Dimitri Jioev. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Scott. Thanks for asking, dude.
And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight?
I feel really good I feel really good. I've been really pushing in this fight camp. I've been changing up my training partners a lot more. I've been adding new training partners, with UFC BJJ champ Carlos Henrique, who actually just had his fight on first amateur fight on Sunday, and he won, so that was really cool. But I've been working with him a lot to get ready for this fight, and I feel very confident going into this. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Now, have you prepared on different environments like ice rinks, like that last fight?
With how sweaty it gets over at ACS, every single time someone slips and says, "Oh man, I'm in Louisiana again." It's like, "Thanks, guys. Appreciate you helping me relive my trauma."
It'll just it'll an interesting fight to watch if you're just watching as a spectator, because you can tell you guys weren't wanting to just charge in just due to
Mhm.
how slippery it was.
It was just like me. I don't know if you heard, like, I know you probably heard the commentary from the booth,
Yeah,
but I don't know if you heard the commentary from me and Hunter because, but we both said during the third round, this part of my language, this mat fucking sucks. And we need this is so freaking slippery. And like even the corner, I was talking to his corner as well, talking about how bad it was. So both him and I, like, sure, he won the fight, but even him, both of us were pissed about like the situation as a whole.
and how did you think the fight was going for you?
First round, I know he dropped me. So, I gave him the first round. I felt good about the second and the third round. I thought that I won it, but honestly, like I wasn't mad about the result personally. Like I'm sure it's kind of sad that I lost. Sure, it's another loss, but at the same time, like it's one of those losses like in a way it was out of my control.
Yeah,
The stuff I wanted to do, I really couldn't do it because I was at risk of slipping and falling on my butt. Same with
yeah,
Hunter. So, like there's nothing really I like to take away from it was just push forward more. But outside of that, there's nothing really else I can really take away from that fight, to be honest.
exactly. And you've got another prospect, an undefeated prospect, looking to make his name against the pioneer of Fury FC.
I watched his fight for Fury, and he's a very good wrestler. He's a very
Yeah,
strong wrestler. But just I know that he's from a decent camp, and I know that like I'm not going to assume that he's the same person he was when he fought last.
yeah,
But I'm hoping that he understands that this is, again, mixed martial arts. I'm not here to just wrestle with him. I'm not here to grapple with him. There's going to be, if he does take me down, there will be jujitsu. There will be me getting back to my feet. I will be striking from the bottom. It's not just me going to be laying down and letting him do whatever. I'm not going to get into a wrestling match with him because this is mixed martial arts and I'm going to fight him wherever it is. And, he's more than welcome to try to stand with me. He's more than welcome to take me down, but I welcome that.
exactly. And it's not always been Dimitri that you're facing. It was meant to be Malik Lewis. How
Mhm.
has that been shifting the focus from Malik over to Dimitri?
Um, I would say n not too much. Mind you, I've like before it was, the guy was a lot taller, more of a
Yeah,
striker. So focusing a whole lot on, getting on the inside. And honestly, even though Dimitri and I were both the same height, I believe his reach is a little bit shorter than mine. On the same thing, but the same idea is going in is that we're going to be pushing forward. Like, mind you, we're not just going to be rushing in, balls to the wall, going crazy. But the main thing is just push forward and attack. Don't give up real estate. Don't back up. Keep coming in.
exactly. And how was the pancakes last time? And are you going to be getting pancakes after this win?
Oh man, it's gonna be. I'm making sure that's gonna be pancakes, waffles. I made sure after the fact I went to Voodoo. I went to a place called Voodoo Donuts afterwards, and I got a ton of different like artisan donuts. So I was filled to the brim with carbohydrates after that fight. It was well worth the wait. Definitely well worth the wait. It was a good time personally. So I wasn't disappointed at all. But again, after this fight, it's gonna be Waffle House, tons of waffles, tons of eggs, tons of bacon, lots of stuff that's bad for me. And you know what? I'm gonna feel good about it.
Some people say fighting's bad. you love fighting and you'll eat the food after.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Like they look at how I fight, they're like, man, that's really dangerous stuff. Yeah, but like you should see my diet the week after. It's pretty bad. I'm pretty sure it would kill most people. But it is what it is, man. I love the thrill of the fight and I love the thrill of my arteries being clogged. So it's a good time either way.
And what has been the major improvements since that last fight?
Major improvements. Honestly, the big thing is the pressure forward, regardless of the situation I'm in. Now, I understand, like, it's not like taking these big steps. It's like a methodical crawl. I'm looking to constantly move forward more. I'm focusing on pressuring it a lot more, not just using head movement, but using my hands, using strikes, putting them in front of my opponent whenever they're coming in. I want to make sure that whenever I throw, I'm pushing these guys back. And that's my main goal. I'm not here to like I was said before, I'm not here to give up real estate. I'm here to take the center of that cage, and I'm going to make sure that he has to essentially kill me or use all of his strength to push me back, and then I'm going right back to the center of that cage.
Exactly. Or just a wee push and they can
Yeah,
just
just
fight
just
through the door.
exactly.
And how have you rate this year? I know this is your third fight, and what is your goals for next year?
For next year, I would say fight as many times as I can. I know I fought 3 times this year. I felt, pretty decent. Well, wait, was it? Yeah, yeah, 3 times. That's right. 3 times this year. I felt pretty good about most of them. I want to go into this next. I want to go into the next year with the same kind of fervor. I'm looking at we can make my best performance. Period. Same thing I'm doing as this fight, but next year I want to make it even better. I want to make sure that I take everything out of the judge's hands, and I want to make sure that every fight have is a finish and a win. That's my goal right now. And regardless if it's one fight, two, three, four, five, it doesn't matter. I want to make sure that these fights are definitive wins. That's my goal for next year.
And you are in one of the best organizations to stay active. Fury's got like two, something even three events each year. So
Oh
you've
yeah.
got a host of cards to be able to get yourself on.
Oh yes. Fury has been a very Eric Garcia, the promoters, and Richard Birdmaster, his partner. They've both been very gracious and they've been so charitable with me. They've worked with me so much on getting me fights, getting me fair fights. Not easy, never easy. I don't think I've had a single opponent that you consider easy.
Yeah.
Every single person, it's been a fair matchup with records, and these guys are killers, and I'm willing to face that challenge. I'm part of the old guard of Fury. I'm part of the old guard of Houston MMA, and being the guy that they are using to essentially, if I'm a guy that's going to be there to knock down these young studs, I'm happy to be that guy. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm happy to be that person.
Exactly. And it has shown um it's shown with Fury that it doesn't matter about your age or about what kind of streak you're on, as long
Mhm.
as you are good enough, they are going to give you these fair matchups. They are going to put you in title fights. You just need to look at just recently Jacob Silva. He'll put
Mhm.
in that flyweight title fight.
Exactly. I've known Jacob for years. I knew him back, let's see, man, back whenever I first started MMA in 2010. He started fighting before that. And, he's just kept on pushing the entire time. He's been a champion before as an amateur, and it was inspirational for me seeing him win that belt against Paris Moran. I was so happy for him. It made me like I was so pumped to see that because it's like, man, a guy that's my age, a guy that's been fighting for as long as me, maybe and a little bit longer, and he's still pushing these guys that are up and coming, and it's not just, making them work. He's
Yeah.
winning definitively, and it's a beautiful thing. And Fury, like you said, they don't just, it's not just gimme stuff. They don't just bring up these young studs. Everybody gets a fair chance, and I love that.
And it seems like we were talking about this last time, how Fury starting to break through into the UFC ranks, but
Hmm.
it is now becoming even more with Joshua Van now becoming the second guy from Fury to be able to have a title fight in the UFC.
It's so cool to see. It's a big feather in a Fury's cap for that. I love seeing that the guys from Fury are getting the recognition that they deserve. You had guys like Adrian Yanez before, I think CJ Vergara as well. These guys that have that have been in the UFC for a while that came from Fury, but now you're like you said, we got two guys within, the same, like within the same year who are getting title fights. And I think it shows just how deep the talent pool is at Fury. And it's like, sure, that it's not, we don't just have people from Texas fighting
Yeah.
in Fury, but it's primarily people from Texas, a lot of people from Houston, and these guys know how to throw down, whether it be with jujitsu, wrestling, striking. They know how to put it all together. And I love seeing them grow. I love seeing them flourish. I mean, heck, Joshua Van had his amateur debut back in
Yeah.
2020 whenever I won my title back whenever COVID was at the height. And seeing him go from this kid who just had his first match to fighting in the UFC and now fighting for a belt, it's probably one of the coolest things to see, seeing that growth from a fellow fighter, seeing him grow from that point to now. It's so beautiful, man.
And then you also got a lot of upcoming talent like Michael as well. He's
Hmm.
coming through. You have this weekend, your Del Valle, he's coming.
Yes.
He's got his putting out for his third UFC win, I think
Yes.
he'll be.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of these new guys coming in too, and I feel like we're gonna be getting, I mean, oh, and Cody Steele, who
Oh
actually
yeah.
had a fight of that performance a few weeks ago, a few months ago. And I think that we're gonna be showing we're gonna have a more of better showing with Fury coming in, with Fury fighters coming to the UFC within the next few years. I think it's gonna be a full-on takeover with Fury, to be honest. That's just, of course, I am highly biased. But with just the proof is in just the product, with how many people we've been putting into the UFC and with how many, successful people are been put in the UFC and have stayed in the UFC, which is, you can put anybody in the UFC, but it's about staying there. And it's the staying power you have. And I feel like we have that in spades.
And as a fighter, what is your perspective in the UFC? It wasn't this weekend, but the last few weekends, fights have been finished with 1 or 2 seconds before the bell rings. However, they have to then go back in after the round and go back fighting. How, as a fighter, do you try to get back into like the mindset of okay, let's get back into fighting?
So, like, kind of like how my fight was with Hunter. Mind you, it wasn't at the last few seconds. It was like the last minute or so where I got caught. It's just a matter of repetitions. If you're not used to getting dropped and you're not used to working from your back or working from a bad position, then it's going to be, it's not going to go well for you in a fight. Now, mind you, my partners don't try to drop me in sparring. We don't try to kill each other in sparring. Thank God for that. But if you got to be put in those situations when you're dog tired, like after
Yeah,
you've done a training session, you get put on your back and you work to your feet. You, if you're when you're dog tired after hard sparring, go ahead. Great, you're going to go on the wall. You're working wall drills for the next 5-10 minutes until until that timer goes off. So it's I think that when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's a matter of just working to. It's just kind of course, the reps that you put in so your body knows what it has to do when it gets put in those situations. But in a way, it's also just the kind of mindset you have as a person. Some people, they what is it? They try to find a way out. They get caught and they're just like, oh gosh, I gotta cover up or else, I'll get hurt even more. If that happens, then you lose. Like if you
yeah.
cover up right here, you're done. But you got to have that mindset of, oh gosh, I got dropped. I better get back to my feet so I can defend myself effectively. It's not about surviving and just being here. It's about defending yourself effectively, whether it be throwing your jab at them, making sure that you're showing that you're still lucid, even if you're still getting your feet back underneath you, making sure that you're throwing something or at least level changing, feinting. Make sure you put something in their face, give them something to worry about. And of course, like I said, just have a decent chin.
And I think it was announced by Neil Magny just I think it was 2 days ago
Mhm,
that Jake Matthews' appeal on the defeat has
mhm.
been rejected. He will still get that defeat on his record, and Neil Magny
Mhm.
still got the win. Do you feel like
Yes.
that is still the right call, as even though the ref probably should have continued to fight, the fight still went on at the end of the day?
Man, that is a tough one to call, dude. Again, this is another bias in me. I'm a big fan of Neil Magny. Personally, I think that it was a decent call by the ref. It was decent enough. Mind you, I can understand why, but I'm personally okay with it. It's still I can understand why it was kind of iffy. Like if you get caught, like even especially if it's at the end of the round, let them try to defend themselves. But again, it's a toss up, really.
Now, with you must be a wee bit worried. Your White House opponent for the dance battle, Marab, he is back in action the coming weeks. How do you rate his activity level as just a fighter who probably should probably need a little bit of rest after the fight? Nope, he goes straight back into another fight.
Man, he is, I mean, as a fellow machine, I respect the hustle.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think it's, some people they thrive in that kind of in that kind of environment. They love putting put under having all that work they get to do. They love going into that training. So for me personally, I like to take a little bit of time off, maybe like a month or two, and I'll try to get I'll be getting back not even not even a month from training and just not going crazy. But with him, he's just a guy that wants it. He wants to be busy. He wants the fight. He loves competition. And you know what? For some people, take a time off. For him, he doesn't, I don't really think he gets that hurt during his fights. I mean, I think he was bleeding a bit whenever he fought Nurmagomedov, but
yeah.
I don't think he's really been hurt really. And you know what? If he's not hurt, if he's ready to go again, let's send him off. Let's have him have some fun. But me personally, I'll take a little bit of time off between fights because I need my body to recover because whew, fighting in your 30s is tiring, man. Getting ready for a fight in your 30s is tiring.
Let's be honest here. What do you need the rest for? Is it the fight or the waffles after?
Okay, man, I don't appreciate being called out like that. I don't like being seen like this.
But where do we have to start to have the conversation of where is he on the GOAT category? You just
Oh,
need to look at his resume. Triple
yes.
C, Sean O'Malley twice, Nurmagomedov, Jose Aldo,
Hmm.
Peter Yan twice if he gets through this one. He is
Yes.
he is just defeating everyone in his way. He's
Hmm.
not even been just like a padded
Yeah.
championship run either.
Yeah, I honestly I think that I think Marab should definitely be in the talks for pound for pound. I mean, you still got guys. I mean, you still got guys out there. You like, let's say you have Mighty Mouse, definitely someone who's really freaking
Yeah.
good. Like he had an amazing run as a champion. But really, I feel like Marab is kind of a dark horse when it comes to, being the GOAT. I think after this fight, he could definitely be in the talks for it. Definitely be in the talks. But I think that, 135 is kind of in this weird space to where I don't know, like there was a lot of the belt changing hands a lot for a while, but I like the fact that Marab has been the since I don't know, like I feel like Marab has probably been the most consistent of all the 135 belt holders in the past since it's been held. I mean, because you had Dominic Cruz for a while, but then of course torn the ACL. Then you had then I think it was Renato. I think it was I cannot remember. It was the guy that TJ fought. He was
Yeah.
yeah, he fought TJ fought him. TJ got the belt, and then eventually, like Cruz got the belt back, and then Cody Garbrandt got it. Then right after that, TJ had it for like two, and then you had Triple C, and then this whole thing with I think it was Peter Yan had
Peter
it for a
Yan,
little bit. Yeah, Peter
Peter
Yan had
Yan,
it. AJ
Sterling,
Sterling, and then it went back
O'Malley.
to O'Malley, and then it's back to Marab.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like it's been in flux for the longest time, and I like the fact that right now I could think you could definitely consider Marab as probably pound for pound, probably one of the best bantamweights of all time right now, with the fact of how consistent he's being, especially against former champions, for sure.
And what's next for your division in the UFC? Obviously, Elia's the champion. You have got a few different matchups which has been announced, whereas you do have either Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett that could be facing Elia in one of the early UFC cards next year. What fight
Man,
would you like to see?
man, that is a very good question because 155 it's such a stacked division. Like I know it's been said a lot, but like 155 is probably the most stacked division in the UFC and like probably MMA period. But like personally as a fan, I would love to see Gaethje and Ilya go at it. Like Ilya's crisp with his striking, but Gaethje just throws bombs with everything, whether it be his hands or his kicks. And I know it's not going to go to the ground because these guys are just going to throw punches the whole time or just try to keep it standing. But man, as a Gaethje fan, I would hate to see him lose, but at the same time, I think it would be so much fun to watch.
And how did you rate Oliveira's performance against Gamrot?
Man, I felt that that was a damn good showing from Oliveira. The guy is just he's getting older and former champion, he still has it. He's so good with his striking, which has only gotten better since he started in the UFC.
Yeah.
And with his jiu-jitsu game is still like bar none, probably one of the best jiu-jitsu games in the MMA, or not MMA, but in the UFC right now. But like I would say, like right now, probably 4.5 stars out of five. If I have an official ranking system, which I don't.
That's coming in June 2026, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, be ready. Everyone subscribe to my Patreon, which I have not set up yet.
That's coming in May 2026.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, make sure you guys tune in and you can see Nico get back into the win column and be able to take that belt from Ilya in the near future. And
That's what I'm aiming for.
we can't wait to see you get that win. Is there anything you'd like to add or anyone you want to shout out?
Yes, I'd like to shout out my sponsors, Meltzer and Sullivan Law Firm in Galveston, Texas. Appreciate you guys for your support, as well as Dyer's Combat Club. Thank you so much, William from Dyer's Combat for sponsoring me, and of course everyone at ACS, Orinde Jiu Jitsu, Artistry. Appreciate all of you guys for pushing me and for making me better and getting me ready for this fight. I love you all, and thank you so much, everybody.
Well, that was great, and we can't wait to see you get that victory. Make sure you guys tune in to the UFC Fight Pass. You do not want to miss out.
Yes, sir.